So when I got in, I just really just wanted to make music and put it out.
Yeah.
I wasn't concerned about the shows. I wasn't concerned about making money.
What's going on, creatives? This is Mitchell, aka Dooms, and I'm here with my boy, my homie. This is Leo Black. And welcome to Creative Haven. This is where we talk with other creative artists and people in the creative industry just about life, as a creative, because I kind of feel like a lot of podcasts out there talk about entrepreneurship and inspiration,
Right.
But I kind of feel like for creative people, we want to know a little bit more.
Right.
Like, where do you get your creativity? How you got to this spot? How can you live full time as a creative and an artist so we can inspire other artists out there who are on, at a 9-to-5 job, who wish that they were like some dancer, or like, they're just coming out, in their teens or like in college and they don't know what to do as like a DJ or a singer. So we're out here to show them, hey, you can be proud to be an artist, live a career, a vibrant, thriving career as an artist, man. And that's why I respect you a lot, Leo, like seeing a lot of the content you put out there and also just your vibe. You can be at your level, you can be a straight up asshole, you know what I'm saying? But no, you're a good dude, and I've met the people around you and I've also seen your work and just, I've seen how you treat people and I like that. So I just want to know your background, like how did you get into music, was that your first love, was that your first passion? Like what was it, what's the history of Leo Black?
Yeah, music was my first love. I started off South Central LA, born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Grew up like a regular lower class family, My grandpa, he navigated from down south, bought a house up in South Central LA, and that's where my grandma stayed. She already had 3 kids when my grandfather met her, and he kind of like brought them in. So being under him kind of showed me what it was like to, be a man. It like set the perfect example as like a role model in my family, being able to just like come in and take a woman that he loved and 3 kids under his wing and kind of support them throughout, being like a truck driver. And from then he went into like landscaping as we were raised in the house. And my mom went out to move to Hawthorne. That was like our first place. And I was still a kid. I was a toddler. And then we moved to Hawthorne. We spent some time out there, maybe a year or 2. And then like one of my stepdads, he ended up getting locked up. And then so we had to move back with my grandmother in South Central LA. And we kind of stayed there for a bit. So I went to like Horseman Middle School, Henry Clay Middle School, Bret Hart, Charles Bear Elementary. Like I say all the time, the most fights I ever been in was in elementary school.
Damn.
So it's just like, and it was because like you'll fight somebody, like the community is so small, in the hood. You'll fight somebody, beat their ass, and then like their cousin to come like, hey, you fought my cousin, now we gotta fight, Then that'll happen. It's like, oh, you fought my best friend, so now we gotta fight. And just like, so you getting like suspended back to back and shit, like fucking up, and then from there you kind of learn like morals, values and just respect as a man, like man to man. Like before anything, I'm a man, so I gotta treat others how I want to be treated,
That's right.
So I learned that at a young age. And then from there, I like navigated out to the Inland Empire. Once my mom, like, cause we got into like game banging on my cousins and us. Growing up in South Central, you product of your environment, what they'll call it. So we got into like the game banging culture and all that. And then my father ended up getting killed early. He died of gun violence. So
oh damn.
Yeah. So once my father, he got killed, and then my sister's father, he was locked up, and then it was just like, had no male figures, was headed down the wrong path. So my mom was able to, it was like right around 2008 or something, around that recession. So what happened, and it was before the recession actually, where they were giving out the big house loans and shit. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
In like the Inland Empire.
Yeah, man.
So my mom was able to get one of those like house loans, and we moved out to the IE, and then shit got a little better. But it's like, by then it's like you can take the kid out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of me,
Yeah,
I was already like in high school and shit. So it's like, I was like, fuck. From there, what happened? Oh, my mom, she ended up getting locked up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like a year later after we moved to the IE.
Mm-hmm.
So she turned herself in, and when she turned herself in, like my brother, they still had their fathers and whatever because we had different fathers and everything. And then so they wanted to go stay with their dads, and me, I had to go back to Compton because that's where my auntie stayed. So
you're moving a lot.
Yeah, so I was moving a lot. And then like Compton, that's when I picked up a lot of bad habits, like because I went out there and I didn't have my social security card, no paperwork, so I couldn't enroll in school. So literally, like every day, I was just like smoking weed, chilling with my cousins, and then I ended up getting the plug, ended up selling drugs, got into that lifestyle for a bit, and then. By the time my mom got out, it was like I was already my own man, you know, because I was supporting myself at that point. And then so it just like me and my mom didn't end up working out, and like I had nowhere to go. And then so I was like, fuck, the police like kept picking me up and shit because they'll see me on the streets, you know, during school hours and everything. And I was still quite young at the time. And then so they end up just sending me to like a halfway house.
Damn.
And then from there was like, oh man, like we contact your family, nobody can take care of you, so we gonna throw you in the system. So yeah, so I went in like group homes and shit, and then so I was in group homes for like 4 or 5 years, like just thugging it out.
Dang.
And then in there, like that's where I like picked up music because I had all my free time and shit. So I used to get online and go to like SoundClick and all these different websites.
Oh, I remember SoundClick.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Dang.
And get these beats and just like rap over them and shit. And I was like, man, once I emancipate, like I'm gonna really like hone my craft and like get in the studio. And I had the opportunity to do that once I emancipated. Like short story long.
Wow.
So from there, that's how I kind of stem.
Yo, you know what? Like hearing that story and knowing you now, yo, I'm proud of you, man. And it's really cool to see how you've become more of a man and also just an artist.
I appreciate you, bro.
You know, because with that type of background, you could have, you know, a different life's journey.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
Oh, yeah.
And you chose a path of creativity, you know, and I respect that a lot. To take what, you know, your past and what you went through and realize, you know, I have the choice to become a better person. I know a bad route and I want a better route.
Exactly.
And so for you to find that and also, you know, move around a lot, it's kind of like you never had like a base or a home.
Yeah.
So it probably like for you, yeah, like now that you're out, you know, doing your thing, like as an artist and as a creative, like, do you feel now you're finally finding your home? You're finally finding a base here in Los Angeles?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like now I got a crib, you know, I'm able to support myself. And even early on, like when I went to the system, like for me, it was like a blessing in disguise because it wasn't shit to do in there. So literally, like I either can have a job or go to school or do both. And I did both. Like I went to school and I had a job. Like I got a job when I was in there. I was working at like fast food chains and shit, and you don't got to spend no money while you're in there. So like all of it was going to my bank account. So I actually got like a car and a crib before I even left my group home.
Wow!
I was able to buy my car and crib. So like that taught me independence and shit at a very young age, you know. Hustle. And also I come from like it's bad, like drug dealing and shit, but I was used to having money early on. So even when I got locked up, I'm like, oh, I can have money in here and save it, like make money here and save it. So. Like that was always good for me. Like that's what taught me stability, you know, being able to save the money in there and let me know like you always should have some change tucked away and shit, you know.
Wow. And then for you, you know, going through that process of like becoming independent and then now you've got music under your belt, you know, how did you use artistry, your creativity and music to kind of like reinvent yourself, you know, and create this life? Yeah,
well, I didn't have any like I had no idea of like what caliber of an artist that I wanted to be, you know, when I first started doing music, which was good because I didn't have like super high goals like, oh, I'm gonna be this big superstar and all this. Like, so when I got in, I just really just wanted to make music and put it out. Yeah, I wasn't concerned about the shows. I wasn't concerned about making money. I wasn't concerned about any deals, getting any interviews with radio stations, having radio play. Like I was actually excited to put it out myself and put a song on YouTube or SoundCloud and these different things and do it myself.
Yeah.
Because all the music that I was listening to, that's how I was listening to it. It was on SoundCloud or YouTube, you know, some blog, Hot New Hip Hop or something at the time when the blogs were really big.
Yeah.
And then, so I just started doing it that way. I started putting out music myself, and then a blog picked it up called Hot New Hip Hop. I don't know if you remember Hot New Hip Hop.
That's old school, man.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah, man. So there were like Dat Piff, all those. So
yeah, Dat Piff.
I was uploading Dat Piff, and then Hot New Hip Hop picked it up, and I built a relationship with one of the editors over there. So one of the editors started putting out my music on Hot New Hip Hop every time I had a new song.
Wow.
And that's how I kind of built like a fan base just off the blogs, and because Hot New Hip Hop pick it up, and then like Dat Piff, I have it on their front page, and then from there I got into like visuals. Once I had a really popular song or a song's buzzing, it's like, man, we got to shoot a video. Never shot a video a day in my life before.
Yeah.
But I was a fan of the website WorldStar.
Yeah.
So when it first started off, like WorldStar was bigger than YouTube to us at the time.
Yeah.
It's like you could upload to YouTube, people were doing it, but it was big for like DIY videos and shit. Like if you're releasing a rap video, you want it on WorldStar. You know,
right.
That's when WorldStar was at its peak, you know? So that's all. At that point, I was like, man, I need a video and I need a WorldStar.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. I started shooting videos, putting them on WorldStar, and that helped me build more fans. And then before you know it, I had like this co-following online on the internet.
That's so dope, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's like hearing your story and hearing the idea of like how technology helps you, you know, get to this point, and like the awesome, I would say, connectivity you get online. Like, what would you say were like the technology or the platforms that really got you up there? Because then we're talking about SoundCloud, we're talking about blogs, and then now, you know, you really turned me into, you know, TuneCore and DistroKid and self-distribution, you know, and like, I think that's so dope, because like what I want to show and tell artists out there, you know, is that you can be your own label. We were talking about this, which is ill. And for you to be able to like build your career and then self-distribute, self-publish, and do and learn everything online, I think that's so dope. And so like for you, like what for like when you were coming up, what were like the platforms, and what are the platforms now that you use that really elevates your career?
Started off MySpace. That was
MySpace, hell yeah.
And that had the embedded MP3 players.
Oh, I remember that shit.
Upload it yourself and shit.
When it autoplays, it's when it has too many autoplays on their page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where we started from, MySpace. And uploading my own songs up that's there, having that front page, everything situated. I had a graphic designer to hook it up for me with the coding.
There you go.
You know, you can have your own custom coding. MySpace, just the regular format layout, just to stand out even more. So, man, right before, it was crazy though, because I figured out MySpace right before it died. Literally like a year before it died, or maybe even months before. I got my custom page, everything coded up, like super fire fit, had my top 8 just popping, you know, had the songs on point. And then literally like, I would say even a quarter later, people just started fucking with MySpace. I think Twitter and Facebook kind of just like took over, you know, people just, the traffic started to leave. And that's when it was Twitter, what else was it? Facebook, YouTube, and the world stars. But it was the blog culture that was really popular back then. We were just talking about this like Gossip and all those hip hop blogs and shit back then. That was popping off. You know, a media takeout.
Dude, I remember when like you would always have your RSS feed, and you would have all your favorite blogs, especially for new music, you know. And then I remember like even Hype M of like, you know, finding like new songs.
Two Dope Boys.
Oh man, like I remember just getting like mixtapes on mixtapes. I remember that was like the time of mixtapes. You know, when people were spitting bars on mixtapes, and like, you know, what's crazy is the evolution of technology now, you know, because then that's like before Spotify, you know, and how big Spotify is right now. You know, that's like the days of like Bandcamp and Reverbation, or like Reverb Nation, and like that's when you were still hoping for a record deal. You know, now it's like, do you really need a record deal? Do you need one? You know? And so like it's cool to hear that from you, because I feel like you went through this whole transition. Like you didn't put your eggs in one basket.
No.
And that's what I like to tell people, artists right now too. It's like you can't put all your eggs in Instagram, or like all your chips into like SoundCloud.
Platform. Yeah.
You gotta diversify.
Exactly.
Be on Spotify and Pandora. Have your own like e-commerce line. It's everything. Like it's different now. And so like, if I'm gonna ask you, man, like how are you now diversifying your music and your brand?
Yeah, well, coming from that culture, it's easy now to like reinvent myself, because it happened so many times over the span of my career. Like as soon as I got started, that's when MySpace died, and I lived through like my music career was through the blog era, from the Dat Piff and High New Hip Hop, Two Dope Boys, and all those different blogs, and now I see where they're at now compared to just like platforms itself. Like YouTube and SoundCloud and the distributors, Spotify, Apple Music. Those are like the big conglomerate companies that just transformed the music industry. Tidal, Pandora, all these different sites. So being able to go through that, and then also the reason why I stopped using Hot New Hip Hop as a platform to distribute my music wasn't even by choice. It was because like they stopped using their own embedded players, and I started seeing them embed like the SoundCloud links, and I'm like, what the fuck is this SoundCloud shit? Why people playing their music through SoundCloud on here? Why they're using the SoundCloud? And then I found out it's not Hot New Hip Hop links; these are the artist links that they're embedded on their website. And then so eventually it went from them not using Hot New Hip Hop at all to people just going straight to their SoundCloud link.
That's right.
On their SoundCloud itself, because SoundCloud started becoming its own thing, like its own popular page and its own top 40 songs, top 100 songs, and its own trending songs and everything within itself. So like going through that and then seeing, and right around that time, that's when like social media just like skyrocketed with Instagram at the same time. So it's like, man, now I got to be able to take pictures of myself and upload them on a daily basis. And it's just like, now I got like 1,000 pictures on my Instagram. Like I know exactly what I want to do, when I'm focused on a campaign and like uploading songs and things like that. But it's like, man, like going through those transitions and kind of just figuring it out, it really motivated me to know that like, don't get too comfortable within your brand, If you just starting off in music, you're going to go through like 5 artist names, go through like a few different images, branding, just like a few different things. So it made me not be afraid of that, not be afraid of change, like that's going through those phases of just like music in general from 2012 to now. Yeah.
The thing is that you're like basically taking the situation as is, and instead of seeing the negative and like quitting, you don't quit.
No,
you're not going to quit. I see that in you. And then that's why you're always evolving. You're always finding what's going to make your life better, rather than just like saying, you know what, this isn't working. I failed in this platform and I'm not going to do this anymore. Nah, you're going to keep going towards your dream, and I always ask people this too. It's like, what's your definition of failure? Like, do you take failure as just a hit? Do you take it as a learning lesson? Like, how do you feel about failure?
Man, I just feel like there is really no failure as long as you're trying. As long as you're trying and just try not to make the same mistakes. That's what's important. Just like you said, keep going, whatever your dreams are, because eventually you'll achieve it. And if you're in LA long enough, you'll start to see the people around you achieve it, maybe even before you.
Right.
So that's also inspiring. To see people who I came up with in the music scene as well, who have got record deals, or had songs that blow up, multi-platinum songs, or won awards. I did a song with J-Rock, from Top Dog Entertainment, and now he's a Grammy Award winning artist. So, and he just won that award last year. He just won, or this year actually, he won that Grammy for King's Dead. So, it's cool to see that, especially coming from like Watts, California. I told you I lived in the hood in Compton for a bit. Used to stay with my auntie up in Watts as well. My best friend stayed in Watts, so in Grape Street Watts.
Dang. So I was gonna ask you, man. So what are you grateful for now, man? Let's we got talking about your career and your past, but what are you grateful for now? What you doing now? You're excited about, What are you grateful about for right now?
More life, man. More life. I'm excited about what we're doing now, the projects that we're working on.
Yeah.
With you, Mitch. We got a couple music videos coming out.
That's right.
My squad music video. Working on that together.
Mm-hmm.
This song is going to be a hit. Shot this at YouTube Space LA. The video is going to be crazy. If you guys don't see it, it's up in the background right here on the monitor. Literally editing that as we speak. So,
Yeah.
Mitchell DP and things, you know.
You know how I do.
So yeah, man, that's I'm excited about the new content that got coming out. That's always excites me. Like, what's next? What's that next chapter? You know, what's that next venture? You know, me as a creative, like you're saying, not putting all my eggs in one basket. I feel like it's harder in the beginning when you don't put your eggs in one basket because you're starting trying everything new for the first time. But once you like stay consistent with those things, you begin to master those things all at once.
That's right.
You know? And then it's just like, instead of one skill, you've mastered 5. And at the same time, someone have mastered 1 skill, you know. And you made more mistakes along that time, you know. But you're learning from the mistakes.
Yeah, and I feel like right now you're on the up and up. And it's cool to watch you go from hip-hop to like dubstep now.
Hell yeah.
And now you're becoming a DJ.
Yeah.
And that's so cool to see that you're on Never Say Die. You go on tour with Megalodon. You're just a full-on blown artist and a creative, and you're spending every day being creative, and like that's your life. And like, did you ever see your life like that? How do you feel about being a full-time creative? Man,
well, shit, I just feel like you do it so long, and it's just like,
it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it becomes a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. So, I just feel like constantly, it's just like, gradually, for me, I feel like I'm gradually getting to where I'm finding success within my means of success of an artist, because I didn't have those milestones or goals at first. Like I said, when I first got in the music industry, I just wanted to get music and put it out. But now I'm starting to see the success of my peers and things like that. Like I told you, like winner. Doing songs with award-winning Grammy artists. Now it's like, man, that's a goal of mine, a milestone. I want a Grammy one day, you know? Or seeing my friends play festivals in front of 30,000 people, you know? It's like, man, this is crazy. Like, when I first started doing music, like, I didn't even know about, like, theater performances and things like that. I remember my first theater show, I'm like, what the fuck is this? People are standing up in this big empty building and they want to see me perform the songs that I'm putting out. Like, I had no idea how the music industry even works. So like me going into it so green, and then learning things and being able to achieve those things along the way, and not putting a time limit on it. That has helped me a lot, you know, because I didn't put too much pressure on myself going in, and like, man, if I do music, I gotta be like Drake status and do it at his level. I never thought like that, you know. I just thought I want to be a creative, I want to be an artist, I want to put out my music, you know, build my fan base, and that's what I'm doing. So I can't complain, you know.
It's working for me. That's so cool, because like what that means is like you didn't like set the bar so high and get disappointed.
Exactly.
At, not making
disappointments.
it. You know what your success is.
Yeah.
You stay grateful. You stay hustling.
Yeah.
Putting out music, and of course that brings that authenticity in your music and your creativity, and then you just keep snowballing, bro. And it just reminds me of a lot of artists who put all their work into one thing, put it out, no one really does anything, no fire, and then you spend time on something that you don't even expect to even hit. Yeah, it becomes your viral content.
Exactly.
And it's the idea of expectations.
Exactly.
And I kind of feel that it's cool to like hear you like. You got royalties coming in. You're doing these shows, and you're doing it out of just you wanting to connect with your crowd, put out music, and live your best life.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not about I'm just trying to get cash and drive Lambos and private jets. Yeah. And I think that's, to me, a really good example for artists out there. For the ones that worry too much about likes and about followers. Because man, you have over 300K followers on Instagram, and knowing like what you do and how you put stuff out, you're just genuine, man. You're just documenting your life.
Thank you, bro. Hell yeah. So with you. Yeah. You saw me on Instagram too.
Yeah, and it's cool that we're collabing, and I think that that's really important for artists too, is to really collab with people that you respect, that, you know, you vibe with, and also have the same values, you know. And I think it's really cool that, you know, we're working together. And, you know, for the last question, man, I'm gonna ask you, man, like, so what's next? You know, where can we find you? What's I know you're going on tour.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's tell the people what's up.
Yeah. Well, right now we're focused on this content, putting out these visuals with Stripe TV. We're collabing with them as well. Squad Video coming soon.
That's right.
Doing some other content as well with some new ventures, apparel ventures. We just did a collaboration with K-Swiss.
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk, working on that campaign. So focused on that as well. I'm in the studio locked in on the EP. We're going to keep this 150 BPM, mix in with some dubstep music. Never Say Die 10, my 10-year anniversary. We got some big shows coming up in LA, Shrine Expo Hall in November. Got a show in Denver coming up in September. Maybe even some overseas shows.
Damn.
Outside of that, man, we may book another tour this year. Probably sometime at the end of this year. But right now it's content, you know, collabing. Yeah. What we doing now, and just continue working on the music, because that's like the foundation of everything. Just like having that passion for music.
And so we can find you online at Leo Black, right?
Yeah, LEOBLXK is all my platforms, from Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube. If you LEOBLXK, you'll find all my accounts. Facebook, LEOBLXK, Leo Black. Google me.
Hell yeah. And then for all those creatives out there, you know, the people who are afraid to come out, who are just starting out, what you got to say to them right now?
Just create. Just as simple as that. Just do it, like Nike, you know. Don't put any time frame on it. Don't put no limitations on yourself. You know, just do it. Do it for the creative sake of it, you know. And just being able to express yourself. And once you do it like that, it comes off genuine, and people are going to buy into it, you know, as long as they see you doing it genuinely. And like you said, not doing it because you want the money, or you want the fame, you want that, you know. Do it because you genuinely just want to express yourself as a creative, you know, no matter what type of artist that is.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, man. Like, for real, I'm really glad we met, and I'm excited for what we're about to create and how you're going to grow from here.
Squad.
So, yeah. So thanks for watching and listening, y'all. Stay tuned for the next episode. And to all you creatives out there, like Leo said, just create, just do it, and do it out of the love of being an artist. Cool? Peace. Thank you for listening to the Creative Haven podcast. And if you dig it and like what you heard today, please give us a nice review and rating, and share it with one of your friends that you think needs some creative inspiration. You can always find more content and resources at thecreativehaven.com, and hit me up on Instagram at Mitchel Dumlao. And if you want to reach out, collab, or ask any questions, you have my permission to slide into my DMs. So keep positive, continue to learn and hone your craft, and create all day. Salamat.